right way can give PkChris' whole team a load of trouble, but Ness, despite any kind of matchup issues that he may have, also has a lot of explosive comeback factor. He has a lot of kill power, a lot of consistency in areas that other characters do not. So let's see how this first game plays out between these two.
Yeah, and on top of everything, you got to consider that it is PkChris' Ness. And we saw that thing in 3 matches straight. It's a menace. It's terrifying. But this Falco also looking pretty sharp as well. No damage sustained yet, and a straight 75 onto Tispai.
Yeah, I really, really like how PkChris played that early game. He didn't commit to very, very many options. Instead, he waited for Tispai to commit to that Nair, gets a parry, and that led to a load of damage early on. Tispai answering back. Great work with the Ether right there out of shield.
I'm loving how much PkChris is committing to this laser. He's using it in a lot of situations where, you know, it's just a disruption tool. But speaking of disruption, let's take a look at the eruption coming in from Tispai. And he's putting out the Nest early, but then again, one back air off the whip from Ether, and it's an even game in terms of the characters. Yeah, definitely unfortunate for Tispai there. He definitely wanted to fade back towards the ledge, instead landing on stage and taking a back air to the face. But now we have Ness versus the Phantom Thief himself, Joker. Yes, this character with a wicked amount of mobility and also one of the best comeback factors in the whole game that isn't necessarily a comeback factor as much as it is just a factor that you need to deal with, because he can get it multiple times per stock, especially if he uses Rebel's Guard. And on top of everything, he can do it in the lead. He was looking for that Rebel's Guard, but an amazing bait there from PkChris, going for the grab instead, and dropping the Rebel's Guard at the inopportune time. He ran out of timer on it. Yeah, that is exactly what you need to do versus that Rebel's Guard. Just charge that smash attack. There's plenty of recovery, and I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten that when facing Joker. There's a lot of recovery in that Rebel's Guard, and if you're able to time your smash, you can do a lot of damage. Yeah, you know, this Arson, it's usually a huge factor, but did literally nothing in its time in that match, and PkChris took very little damage from the Joker and is able to survive it coming into the Mythra. Now, here's the thing about Mythra. Mythra is a hard matchup for Nest because they are wicked fast and have insane, really fast disjoints. Yeah. Just a very, very strong character. I think we can all agree in general is Mythra. Delaying the recovery as much as possible. Is that downer going to come out? No, it doesn't. But still on this Pyra, you've got to be scared of pretty much all of her hitboxes. They hit incredibly hard, and they are very, very big and hard to navigate. Yeah, but then again, 3 up airs from PkChris, followed by a Magnet for 61%, or not Magnet, a PK Flash for 61%, and it is still rising. That PK Fire did about 10%, another one for 10. PkChris is really on top of it, going for a B reverse flash. Yeah, and I feel like Tispai has fallen into the trap that quite a lot of Pyra and Mythra players fall into, where they stay on Pyra a little bit too long. Ideally, you want to keep her there in the advantageous positions, as she's not nearly as strong in neutral as Mythra is. Right, and right now I feel like PkChris is kind of fishing for that grab. He definitely wants that back throw because it will be killing at this percent. Yeah. But, you know, taking it a little slow, hanging out off stage. Are they going to be able to make it back? Yeah, yes. Just barely. Playing this real slow by the edge. I'm not quite sure if that's the best decision to make versus a character with as strong ledge trapping as Pyra. But still, this is a very, very substantial lead. All it takes is one solid hit from this Yoshi, and that will be curtains for this first game. Yeah, but then again, losing the Ness off of your own fruition, not something you like to see, and that might be a costly mistake, especially because this Mythra from Tispai is starting to gain a little bit of momentum, not getting called out by too many of the options from the Yoshi, and anytime the Yoshi approaches, a hitbox is going to come out to answer. Good trade for Tispai right there, still maintaining the stage control. And this is where it gets ridiculously scary because Pyra's out on deck with Max Rage Verum. Yeah. This time, Tispai making the switch back to Mythra. Doesn't want to deal with the Yoshi as the Pyra. Good run away to get away from the shield break potential. Well played. And Tispai's spacing around these aerials so nicely. Not getting hit by the eggs, not getting called out by too much. And anytime they're put in a scramble situation, they get out of it in a big way. But then again, mashing that Nair against a Yoshi Nair, not always the best idea. And that is going to be PkChris coming up on top of it. Yeah, I did like the game plan from Tispai towards the end of that game, though. He was willing to slow down the pace of that game very, very considerably, just force PkChris to kind of look for those more ambitious openings, look for those less safe options and overcommitments that Mythra does an absolutely fantastic job of punishing, and he was just gradually getting that damage up bit by bit.
and we could have potentially seen the game go to him had he found a few more hits. But it seems that we've seen a switch out from the Joker into the Shulk this time.
Interesting. I think they realized that the Shulk, or excuse me, the Joker last match wasn't a huge factor in the victory for, or well, their loss actually. It was a close game, but the Joker really didn't do too much, especially after the Arsene came out. And, you know, Shulk provides a little bit more consistent damage. Obviously, some of the biggest disjoints in the game, some of the best aerials, and the ability to put yourself in shield so you can live a little bit longer, as well as just mix up your game plan on the fly. I feel like that's a very beneficial thing for Tispai to go for. And we're going to see Falco Mithra to start off.
This time not going for the Ike to start things off. Tries to get the edge guard. Nice landing behind the Falco this time.
Yeah, man, that down throw into up B is so consistent. You know, a good two-piece for a little bit of damage. It's about 15, 16% maybe with that up B, but that's damage. That's good damage. And, you know, puts your opponent off stage more often than not, too. So we're starting to see a pretty even match between these two. And honestly, I feel like their multi-hits are kind of snuffing each other out.
Yeah, both these characters just exchanging these long extended combos off of their multi-hit moves. Falco definitely got the edge in terms of damage over Mithra, but Mithra makes up for that more than enough in speed and mobility.
Yeah, and right now I feel like Tispai is committing a little bit too hard to the Pyra, and they're going to pay for it. That down smash coming out from PkChris is going to be two-framing at the ledge and forcing them to go to the Shulk early.
Yeah, that was a really, really huge two-frame. Now you're in the ledge trap position versus Shulk. Wow,
Yes,
hard pull out of the down smash.
Yeah, and there's another thing about Shulk that's really valuable. The ability to pull out smash art on a whim is ridiculously good.
Yes.
You can take a stock at 50% if you have a good enough read with that thing.
Right, of course, here comes out the shield art, just defending Shulk for a little bit. And now that monumental range, those huge low commitment hitboxes of Shulk, just real tough for Ness to get around. The footstool setup, not able to get the down air afterwards.
PkChris uses footstools better than any player I've ever seen, except maybe Gluttony, because they are frequently able to try to do that to extend combos. And even if it doesn't always work, there's putting pressure there. You're forcing your opponent to land and then roll. If you get a correct read after that, that's a lot of damage, maybe even a stock. Oh yes, Magnet to back air, the classic. It's not going to kill just yet. And that flash might have, but no, it's going to be the jump back air to do the killing for PkChris. The Ike is out versus the Ness. And on paper, I feel like this is a bad matchup for Ness. I keep saying that because they struggle against sorties, but honestly, PkChris is moving around it a lot better than could be expected.
I said that the right hit coming out from Tispai could potentially make PkChris lose the stock here if Tispai is able to just find the right nair by the platforms. Doesn't go for a second nair right there, instead goes for the back hit to get him off stage.
Yeah, also guarantees some damage, so I respect it. But now you got to deal with a planking PkChris. And honestly, if you just let him at the ledge long enough, he might just take care of your job himself. Right now, PkChris not willing to do that. They're going to come back to center, fight back a little too early, and eat an up smash for their troubles. But 125% against 55. Tispai's vying for a stock here very soon.
Yeah, I really like this patience from PkChris at the ledge, not committing to a panic defensive option, just staying grounded, staying in that position with a lot of confidence.
I love how slow PkChris is taking this as well. He recognizes he doesn't need to overextend. He can just try to bait his opponent out as much as he can for as much chip damage as possible, but it wasn't too much chip damage, only 63% against PkChris's Yoshi, who is one of his weaker characters, versus Tispai, who it seems like he has a little bit of a thing about Ike. I think he might main Ike.
Yeah, usually a person's main is either in the anchor or the very starting position, so I wouldn't be surprised if Ike and or Pyra and Mithra were his signature characters.
Right, and we're looking to see a Nair. This is near max rage on the Ike, and he has some really good kill options if he can land them. And right now, the Nairs are starting to pile up that damage, get that chip in, quick draw for a little bit of extra percentage, and to take center back. PkChris is just trying to get in as much chip as they can, but honestly, you need to start vying for a kill at this point, man.
Yeah, I really, really like the stage control coming out from Tispai. He is holding...
Oh my god!
What?
From the skies!
No restraint on that down B whatsoever. If Tispai was ready for that, that would have been death to PkChris, but he gambled, and it paid off. You think you were in Vegas with that kind of gambling?
Yeah, hey man, he put it all on black there, and actually put it all on red, and that's a win. Won the lottery on that one.
My goodness. From the skies above does the Yoshi bomb rain down.
Yeah, he knew that, in a lot of situations, Ikes like to go up high whenever they see you in the top blast zone, especially with the aid of the PS2 platforms.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for my man